Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to answer the questions that arose from that last video. If you haven't seen it, short version, I think it's worth going and watching, but short version is I'm not ready to rekindle relationships with people that I kind of let go because of their support of the Trump administration, because of their support of his policies over the last 4 years. That prompted three questions. First was, okay, that's fine for friends, but what about family? What are we going to do about that? Are we going to keep these people cut out of our lives? The next was, well, how are we supposed to heal if we don't reach out to them and show them the error of their ways? And the third wasn't super common, but I think it's worth addressing. I actually think that they were digs at me, but it's worth addressing either way. What about those people you work with if they have different political beliefs, like you, Bo? Fair enough, so we're going to answer all three of them. We'll start with that last one. Yeah, I work with a whole bunch of people who have different political beliefs. In fact, the person that was given as an example, that's not past tense. Odds are, while you're watching this, she's preparing this video to go on Instagram. She actually does work for this channel. And yes, she is to the right of me. She's also ridiculously pro-freedom, ridiculously anti-authoritarian, and ridiculously moral. If you go to her channel, you will find that even though she is to the right of me, every single moral failing of the Trump administration was called out. Because it's not politics. That's the whole point of that video. It isn't politics, it's morality. It's right and wrong, good and evil, not left versus right, not Democrat versus Republican. It's morality. I do not think that I will ever have to doubt her morality. That's not something I see happening. There are many people who did not see the Trump administration's moral failings because they were blinded by party. They were blinded by politics, and they thought that saying, oh, it's just a political stance, would excuse or at least overshadow the moral implications of what they were okay with. I can assure you that as many ways as Carrie and I disagree on various topics, I'm never going to have to tell her, oh, it's kind of wrong to use violence against children because their parents crossed a line in the sand. That's never going to be a conversation. It's not politics, it's morality. Now, to family members, yeah, I get it. It's going to be a whole lot harder to keep them cut out, and I don't know that you should. Again, I don't know that I'm even giving advice here. I'm giving my actions, what I'm going to do. Everybody's life is different. This is pretty personal choices that are going to have to be made. When it comes to family, I would suggest that you have a moral obligation to try to help them right themselves. I would frame the conversation not in left versus right, not in Republican versus Democrat, but in right and wrong. And in many cases, this is going to be a generational gap. And I would remind them where you got your sense of right and wrong from. And I would point out that that's what it's about, not politics. This isn't about politics. It's about undermining the moral fabric of this country. Right now, as we speak, the President of the United States is trying to stop people's votes from being counted because he doesn't like what they say. That's not politics. That's levying an attack against the very founding principles of this country. The idea that just saying, oh, well, it's just politics, washes away the moral implications, I don't think that holds water. Now, for that last one, how are people supposed to understand what they did wrong if you don't tell them, if you don't let them back into your life, if you don't forgive and forget? If I cut Bob out of my life because Bob was like, hey, it's a great thing that they're, taking these kids from their parents and throwing them in cages and saying that they don't need toothbrushes or beds. Yeah, I don't think this is somebody I need in my life. I'll be honest. I have no obligation to rekindle some relationship with him. And I would suggest that me refusing to do so might actually help with reconciliation. It might help with healing. Because 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, he's going to say something like, I lost friends over politics because I supported the Trump administration. And somebody standing nearby can say, that really wasn't over politics. That was over a view of right and wrong. Sometimes it's not the message, it's the messenger. It might be more motivating to have lost friends and then have it explained why, than simply, oh yeah, we didn't talk for a couple of years because I thought you were a horrible human being. But now that this influence is gone, well, everything's going to be okay. Because you've returned to somebody who can still be swayed by that. No, I have no reason to put this person back in my life. Fighting over politics, fighting over who should rule a country or how it should be ruled, that's incredibly common. Arguing over politics is fine. That happens all the time. It's the plot of movies. And yes, if it's politics, you can let it go. But not if it's morality. Not if it's a deep divide between what one person sees as right and wrong and the other person sees as tolerable. And that's where this was. The fact that tens of millions of Americans, after 4 years of the Trump regime, do not realize that he led the country down this morally bankrupt road is heartbreaking. And it shows us how much work we have to do. And given the amount of work that needs to be done, I'm not sure I want to waste my time with people that I don't have respect for anymore. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.